Hello, thank you for joining us today. I'm Emily Sherwood, Director of Digital Scholarship and Studio X at University of Rochester's River Campus Libraries.
And I'm Megan Moody, the Immersive Technologies Librarian, also at the River Campus Libraries.
Before we begin, we would like to acknowledge with respect the Seneca Nation, known as the Great Hill People and Keepers of the Western Door of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. We take this opportunity to thank the original caretakers on whose ancestral lands the University of Rochester currently resides in Rochester, New York. As the hub for immersive technologies at the University of Rochester, Studio X fosters a community of cross-disciplinary collaboration, exploration, and peer-to-peer learning that lowers barriers to entry, inspires experimentation, and drives innovative research in teaching in immersive technologies. One of the reasons that it made sense to explore a unified approach to supporting XR efforts at the University of Rochester was that we already had a large number of researchers actively working in the field, including faculty from the Medical Center, Eastman School of Music, Warner School of Education, and the College of Arts, Science, and Engineering. Building a central program and space for support also made sense because of the strong interdisciplinary nature of XR. Just like digital scholarship, XR requires experience and expertise from multiple disciplines, which has been recognized by both our administration and our faculty. For example, University of Rochester has received a National Science Foundation grant to support PhD training in XR. Over the next 5 years, 62 doctoral students from electrical and computer engineering, optics, biomedical engineering, brain and cognitive science, computer science, and neuroscience will be trained in skills needed to advance AR/VR technologies. This grant reimagines the traditional hyper-focused and siloed nature of doctoral studies by acknowledging that these emerging areas of research require broader perspective and a range of expertise. In order for River Campus Libraries to understand what we might need in a centralized program for XR, we pulled together a steering committee comprised of stakeholders from across the college. Lauren DeMonte, now Associate Dean for Learning, Research, and Digital Strategies, ran a series of activities called Design Charrettes. Essentially, she used design thinking and hands-on problem solving to surface user needs around the physical requirements of the space in order to create a vision for the program. We held 4 charrette sessions and engaged with 121 participants who told us they wanted a program that lowered barriers to entry, facilitated interdisciplinary work, supported peer-to-peer learning, and included a space that was flexible, multi-purpose, and future-proof. And this last one is a bit challenging. Really what it comes down to is issues of access. Students and faculty wanted access to a space to work collaboratively, particularly a space that is welcoming to students and faculty from across the college, not just STEM fields. They wanted access to expertise from staff and peers that helped lower barriers to entry. They wanted access to technology, but with the understanding that the technology will change and will need to be updated and maintained as the field grows. And really, they wanted access to community, a chance to engage with their peers and their colleagues to learn and create together.
So Studio X will be coming to the first floor of the Carlson Science and Engineering Library this fall. The space was designed by the functional program research that Emily just discussed and was realized by Canon Design. The salon is the heart of Studio X, and its purpose is to encourage exploration and learning. It includes an open area with a mix of tables and seating to promote collaboration and informal interactions that will help foster a sense of community. The Innovation Suite enables research-intensive engagement and learning. It accommodates larger interdisciplinary research teams. It includes access to high-performance workstations and other specialized equipment. 4 collaboration rooms will facilitate XR exploration and creation and will be central to the work emerging out of Studio X. For example, PhD students might be mentoring senior XR capstone projects, or groups working on a class project for a digital history or computer science course will be able to book these rooms for team meetings and long-term project work. The Learning Hub supports formal and informal hands-on learning. This flexible learning space will host a range of workshops, classes, open office hours, and showcase events. Dedicated staff, such as myself, will be in the staff space and will allow us to work independently, but in close proximity to students and faculty who may need access to our expertise. There will also be 6 high-end workstations for individual exploration and project development. Studio X will also provide access to a variety of XR equipment for use in the space, as well as for lending outside of the library. So for example, we'll have VR and MR headsets such as Oculus Quest and Microsoft HoloLens, 3D scanners, 360 cameras, smart devices for testing, the high-end workstations I mentioned, and a UV disinfecting box, which was a new addition in light of COVID-19, but it was really just a no-brainer for sharing equipment. And this is a view from inside the planned space, looking into the salon towards the collaboration rooms. But beyond the space and technology, we'll continue to develop our programming. Just as user experience research was conducted to inform our space planning, we also conducted user needs assessment to inform our pilot programming. We surveyed 60 students, and in general, most reported limited familiarity with XR tools and platforms, as well as on having access to the equipment. And this quote from a student sort of summarizes the general response to our question regarding how students would use XR technologies for their own learning and research. I'm not really sure, but I want to learn more about it so I can think about how to use it. To meet these needs, we created low-stakes, fun, interdisciplinary programming, such as introductory workshops for Blender and Unity. We also used many freely available tools, such as Spark AR for creating Valentine's Day filters for Instagram and Facebook, and Mozilla Hubs for creating virtual escape rooms. We also invited scholars, artists, and XR professionals to discuss their work for our speaker series, so students could encounter real-world examples of how XR is used in a variety of fields. Lastly, we held a challenge for students to create social VR university spaces with Mozilla Hubs. Undergraduate library fellows also helped plan and implement our programming, centering student perspectives and interests and fostering peer-to-peer learning opportunities. So we're looking forward to our fall opening. Construction starts just after graduation is over. In the meantime, we're conducting more user needs assessment to generate space and equipment policies. We're also working to create documentation for the staff we'll be hiring this summer. And lastly, we hired an undergraduate student fellow to conduct research and develop programming for humanities faculty and students. As Studio X is an interdisciplinary space, we're striving to develop program offerings that interest all disciplines. Thank you for listening to our presentation. If you have questions or would like more information, please check out the Studio X website.